Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be opening a new section on this channel, World Wonders 1 by 1. This will be a part of my all total wonder guide, but in these videos I will cover just one or two wonders. And that's it, to make you a deeper explanation about everything, the synergy, how it works, what it does, and why you want it or why you don't want it. To start off this, we will start with the statue of Zeus. The monumental statue of Zeus at Olympia in Greece was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Created in the 430 before Christ under the supervision of the master Greek sculptor Phidias, the huge ivory and gold statue was bigger even than that of Athena in the Pantheon. Worshipped by pilgrims across the Mediterranean, the statue inspired countless imitations and defined the standard representation of Zeus in Greek and Roman arts, in sculpture, on coins, pottery, and gemstones. Lost in later Roman times following its removal to Constantinople, Phidias' masterpiece captivated the ancient world for 1,000 years and was the must-see sight for anyone who attended the ancient Olympic Games. In the religion of ancient Greece, a temple was considered the dwelling place of a god, as its name, Neos, dwelling, suggests. Thus, the statue of the deity inside was far more important than the temple itself. The figure was typically placed in the center of the building so that when the doors opened, it could look out upon the sacrifices and ceremonies being performed just outside in that god's honor. Whether the worshippers actually believed that god somehow inhabited the statue is a moot point, but certainly prayers and ritual gestures were directly addressed to it. It is also interesting to note that one of the common names for a statue in Greek was zoon, or living thing. Such was the endeavor of the sculptor to capture living matter in unfeeling bronze or marble. Certainly, Phidias' vision was of a statue so large and gleaming in gold that it would be nothing short of an awe-inspiring epiphany to the onlooker. It would provide as close a link as possible between humanity and the divine. In-game, you can find it as a rare blueprint wonder. Rare means you can get it each time by spending 10 orbs or maybe faster, so a lot easier than getting a legendary. Rare blueprints are more common, they are much more easy to level up, and these rare blueprints, many of them are really outstanding, and one of them is the statue of Zeus. As I talked on my previous wonder guides, usually we don't follow health boosting wonders because they're just not as good at the moment, but Statue of Zeus is the complete and only military damage boost wonder. It does nothing else, it just gives damage to your infantry units, leveling up from 5% to higher as you level it up. In my case, on level 11 it gives me 12.3% base. What's good about these type of wonders, they boost damage. Damage in this game is very important. These wonders synergize together. They are considered statue wonders. Most of the military boosting armies are statue wonders, except for one and only Abu symbol. And usually they synergize with each other and they require active statues. Usually this type of wonders requires statue wonders to synergize and to give more boost to damage to your troops, like exactly Statue of Zeus. It requires you to have active statues. Active, I mean in the window active. You have to have a lot of statues to make more boost. So if you put Zeus in your actives, it will also count as a statue towards other military wonders you might be using and to boost your power. Now, each statue wonder, when it boosts another statue wonder, it gives 4% of boost. This time, as I have 3 statue wonders active, it would give me 12% boost. It doesn't count itself, but it counts all the other statues that you have active in the city at the moment, gives you some decent boosts. So these boosts are on top of each other. Now, these boosts are actually very decent, they're very much usable, they allow your troops to be very strong, just cut enemy like a grass and win the battles faster. Now, if you win a battle faster, that means more of your troops survive, for the next wave of the battle or an overall, so you don't have to wait too long to replenish everyone. To upgrade this wonder, as usual, you would need some resources and research points. Research points you can exchange with the others, or you can just put them there yourself. I highly suggest on using Zeus because damage in this game is very important, and if you struggle in the battles, Zeus is one of the first you probably would want to have, just because first of all it's rare. I can agree that there are many wonders that might be better than Zeus, like for example Temple of Artemis, but Zeus is a lot easier to get because it's rare, and so you can level it up a lot faster, you will have no restrictions to max it out, and you will feel a huge difference in the boost of the power of your infantry. This wonder, to make it more powerful, in the active tab you should select all possible statues. This is how it's gonna look like. You're basically gonna use Stonehenge, Zeus and Rhodes to get that statue wonder boost. In the active wonders in the allied cultures, you would have to have Yggdrasil, the newly introduced wonder, because it counts as 2 statues at once, and also Great Sphinx, of course. Great Sphinx is an amazing wonder, but this video about the Zeus. Now, so the best synergy you can get for the Zeus is statue wonders. The more of them you stack up, the stronger your infantry troops become. Because if you watch here, you need to level it up to level 11 to get those 12% of base damage boost. But for each statue you get 4. At the moment I have 3 active statues and it's already 12, so you can faster collect statue wonders and just stack them up to active to boost Zeus rather than trying to level it up, especially if you're early game. Doesn't matter if your statue wonders are level 1 or level 10 or level 30. For the Zeus, what matters is just that the statues remain active in your city. Second wonder we're gonna be talking about today is the Palace of Aachen. Now, the Palace of Aachen was a group of buildings with residential, political and religious purposes chosen by Charlemagne to be the center of power of the Carolingian Empire. The palace was located north of the current city of Aachen, today in the German land of North Rhine-Westphalia. Most of the Carolingian palace was built in the 790s, but the works went on until Charlemagne's death in 814. The plans drawn by Odo of Metz were part of the program of renovation of the kingdom, decided by the ruler. Today, much of the palace is destroyed, but the Palatine Chapel has been preserved and is considered a masterpiece of Carolingian architecture and a characteristic example of architecture from Carolingian Renaissance. The site of Aachen was chosen by Charlemagne after careful consideration in a key moment of his reign. Since his advent as king of Franks, he has led numerous military expeditions that had both filled his treasury and enlarged his realm, most notably towards the east. He conquered pagan Saxony in 772 to 780, but this area resisted and the war with the Saxons lasted for about 30 years. He ended the Germanic custom of itinerant court, moving from place to place, and established a real capital. As he was aging, he decreased the frequency of military expeditions and after 806 virtually did not leave Aachen. Aachen's geographic locations was a decisive factor in Charlemagne's choice. The place was situated in the Carolingian heartlands of Australia, the cradle of his family, east of the Meuse River at the crossroads of land roads and on tributary of the Ruhr called Wurm. From then, Charlemagne led the administration of the southern regions to his son Louis, named King of Aquitaine, which enabled him to reside in the north. In the game, we have this magnificent building as a world wonder. This is one of those that we call health boosting wonders, which I usually never suggest of using for certain reasons. First of all, the boost to health is very low. Imagine my Palace of Aachen is level 5 and I get 4.5% of health. My troops, and to the damage they getting on the level 3 of Alliance Treasure Hunt, that makes literally no change. Of course, you can boost your health wonder boost by adding fortress wonders to active, but that is also not so much, because each fortress you add will give you only 2% boost on top of it, and 2% by 2% by 2% for the next fortress is literally nothing if you count towards endgame. The maximum boost of health on level 30 is somewhere around 9.5%. What's good about this wonder in particular? This wonder, unlike some of the health boosting wonders, this wonder gives you Imperial Guards unit. This unit is the same as your infantry, but stronger. They are infantry units, standard infantry, so Zeus statue influence will go on them. If you have Zeus active at the same time, Imperial Guards will become a lot stronger with it. These guards are stronger than your infantry, they're counted as additional troop to your army, and you can place them. If you have enough space on the battlefield and you do not use it all, you can just put them. They are very decent, they are very good, and actually they are the best part of this wonder. This wonder mostly is useful early game. Now, early game, for example, you started Bronze Age and you just don't have troops. You have infantry, archers and cavalry, and that's it. But the field where you can put your troops is huge and you have a lot of space in each and every battle, but you just can't do anything about it. This wonder is worth getting at that time. You will get decent infantry, which will just eliminate your enemies a lot easier. Will help you out in many battles. My advice is do not try to overwhelm the enemy with the amount of your army, because those battles are meant to be won anyway. They're not hard. They're considered and meant to be won with what you have, but if you have struggles and you think instead of boosting power of your troops, you want someone strong and extra on the side when you don't have a lot of wonders unlocked, this wonder is very good to go for if you get it early game. Now in the late game, your field will always be full with your troops which you already have. You will not have any usage of these Imperial Guards. My suggestion is this is very useful very early in the game. Also, I need to mention that these Imperial Guards take a hell of a time to restore. One unit of 12 of them would be in around 1.5 hours to restore, so it's quite the time. And you will lose them as fast as you lose your ordinary infantry, so you can imagine. Now, what does this wonder synergize with? This wonder is a fortress wonder. All of the fortress wonders give health boost to your army, most of them. They synergize with each other usually, so if you stack up a lot of fortresses, you get those 2% boost on top. Also, this is a palace. Now first let's talk about the fortress. Now fortress, we can go for example Terracotta Army and you will see that it boosts the hit points of all your heavy infantry units by 2% per every other active fortress. So this wonder just also benefits from fortress and they synergize together with the Palace of Aachen. Now you go to Sail Palace, the same story, you need fortresses to boost health. Wherever you go, to any kind of fortress you go, it will synergize with the fortress except for Alhambra, because Alhambra doesn't have any synergies, it just works on its own. Then you have City de Carcassonne, which is also a fortress, but it doesn't give any health. Like Alhambra, it doesn't give any health boost, and it's just there, it's just on its own, it doesn't need any fortress to synergize. So what you can do, you can use those two just to boost your Aachen, but trust me, this is not worth your time. Even though those wonders are really decent, but if you just use them just for the health boost, that is not what you want here. Also, this wonder synergizes, of course, with the Sherwood Forest, which is one of the worst wonders in the game, but yeah, it also requires fortress and it also is a fortress, so they synergize together. The next thing about Palace of Aachen, this wonder is considered a palace. Now, palace synergy is a very rare thing in the game, and I must tell you there is only one wonder that benefits from having a palace at the moment, and this wonder is Hanging Gardens. Now, Hanging Gardens, they synergize with Palace of Aachen, because Hanging Gardens, in order to produce more food, requires active palace. So you can use Palace of Aachen basically only to get yourself additional troops when you need them, and you can use them as a synergy for Hanging Gardens, or you can use other wonders around it, but other fortress wonders around it to boost health of your army. But first of all, let's make it simple. In this game so far, health wonders are not as good as they could be because they provide really low boost. Now, in this game, what you want, if you want to be successful in battles, you want to pursue damage. The more damage you get, the better. Palace of Aachen is only usable for extra troops early game or as a synergy to the Hanging Gardens, just because it's also a palace and you can use it as a synergy there. Because none of the other wonders require palace to be active for some sort of synergy. I must say, I'm sorry if I misspelled the name, it's very hard for me to pronounce properly. No offense to anyone who is listening to my video. Okay, now on this note, I thank you all for watching, wish you all the best, hope you liked the video, don't forget to hit a like, and I'll see you on my next video.